Can foreigners get non-teaching jobs in Korea? The answer is yes. But how? In this video, I'll give you some tips on how to find a non-teaching job in South Korea. The very first tip is to brush up on your Korean, because a lot of companies are going to want you to be fluent in both English and Korean. One way to do that is to take a Korean class, like at a Hagwon, or take one of the KIIP classes in your town, and then take the topic test. This test will allow you to prove that you can speak Korean at a certain level. And a lot of companies will require this of you. My second tip is to transfer within your current company. If you're working in a company in your home country that has a lot of different offices around the world, they might have an office in Korea. A few examples of these kinds of companies include IKEA, Airbnb, Booking.com, Samsung, Costco. There are a lot of other companies that have offices in Korea as well. Number 3, look for a translation or editing job. If you go on websites like LinkedIn, you will see a lot of job ads for things like translation between English and Korean, editing for blogs or pamphlets or whatever, websites. These jobs are great for people who don't want to teach English and aren't you don't have to be 100% fluent in Korean to edit text for a website or something. Maybe someone else wrote the English text and they just want you to look over it and see if everything's correct. Now, the other option, translation, you'll need to be a little bit more fluent because you'll be actually making this Korean text, into an English text. So you'll have to be a little more fluent for that, but it is another good option for a non-teaching job in Korea. And you can find those online, like LinkedIn.com. Craigslist has a lot, actually. I think Craigslist in Korea is a little bit more trustworthy than it is in the States. So you can find some good jobs on Craigslist as well in Korea. Number 4, some people have really specialized skills and they don't even need to know Korean to do this job in Korea. Examples include engineers, software developers, people who develop games. Gamers themselves can travel to Korea to play games, professionally. So if you have one of these specialized skills, then you can pretty much work from wherever you want. There's a lot of demand for these kinds of people who can do these jobs. So lucky you if you have these skills. Number 5, you can start your own business. Some foreigners in Korea opt to start their own hagwons or their own hostels or restaurants. And of course, you'll need help from, a Korean person to actually go over help you start the business, because I'm sure there's a lot of laws that you'll need to know about and a lot of paperwork that you'll need to sign and things like that. I'm not an expert on that kind of stuff, but I'm sure it's necessary. But if you have a Korean spouse or you're going into business with a Korean friend, then that would be a way to do a non-teaching job in Korea. I know quite a few foreigners who started their own restaurants, started their own hagwons. I know a hagwon is technically teaching, but if you're the owner, you can hire people to teach for you, and it's your own business. It's like your baby. So it's another way to elevate yourself from just teaching for someone else to teaching at your own business. So. And I know there's also a special visa that you can get to be in Korea. Teachers are on the E2 visa, and that's specifically for teaching. There's another business visa. I think you have to take a class for it. I actually saw the process in another video. I don't know if you guys know Megan Bowen. She's a pretty popular YouTuber in Korea, and she actually got her business visa after taking this really intensive class and I think a series of tests as well, and she had to build up her brand so to prove that her business would do well in Korea. So yeah, I think she actually succeeded at that. And if I find the video, I'll link it below because I think it would be helpful for some of you. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.